On today's episode of Life the Battlefield, we are diving into extraordinary story of what? Transformation with my guest Avril Juriansz, a woman who turned her deepest struggles into a mission to empower others. You, Avril once stood at a crossroads, as many of us, feeling disconnected and searching for her true self. But through resilience, self-discovery, and the power of tools like NLP and hypnotherapy, she rebuilt her life and found her purpose. That's all what we need, purpose. Now, as the creator of the Positive Life Mindset, Avril has helped countless individuals reignite their confidence, reconnect with their potential, and thrive. From overcoming personal battles to becoming an entrepreneur to watch, Avril's journey will inspire you to believe in yourself, into power of transformation. This is not just an interview, it's a lifeline. Lifeline for anyone feeling stuck or uncertain. So get ready to hear Avril's story and discover how you can too heal, you can grow and thrive. So let's go welcome Avril in the studio. Welcome, April. Welcome from Melbourne to Sydney today to be here in podcast studio Life the Battlefield.
Thank you, Mario. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And look, I can't explain to you how grateful I am today for you being here in the studio with me and sharing your life transformation. And most importantly, I think most of the people are actually searching for the purpose in life. Thanks to you and your book, Awareness Hold the Key, which I'm going to talk a little bit later, I'm very, very curious to know, who is Avril?
Who's Avril? That's a good question.
Yes, okay.
Well, I started a very long time ago. I was a single mum going through a lot of battles, childhood trauma as well. You know, as strong cultures kick in, you tend to find quite quickly in a European Western country that things can be very different. So adjusting is very crucial, and that can cause a bit of distortion when you're trying to go through your journey. So I've overcome a few of those, and while going quickly through the teenage years, I just thought I was just doing things on habitual because everyone tells me to do so. And then I didn't feel that I was me. I just felt like I was lost. I was just going for the hell of it. And then I went through a breakdown, and with having 2 kids, just growing them up, COVID hit, and it just took me on a spiral, and it caused me to cry and feel all sorts of past pain, and I wasn't able to move forward. And this stopped me from being the best version of myself. And by going through this journey, I was able to then discover who I really am, and then work towards my best attributes, which made life a bit more easier for me. And I was thinking, I wish I knew this earlier. I wish I knew that it wasn't so hard. I make it hard. And this is why I brought the book Awareness came out, because as my clients, I was seeing through clients, I became a hypnotherapist. And by doing that, I was able to help others. And then I was thinking, these guys are going through the same thing as much as I am. And I thought, well, why not composite most of the main questions into a small direct book? And so the book was born because of that. Yeah.
So is that particular moment when you find yourself on a crossroads, when you felt disconnected during the COVID? Is that the very moment? Can you describe how did it happen to you? So maybe other people can recognize this. Did you wake up in the morning and say like, oh my God?
No, well, I usually go to work, went to work, and then as a lot of us had got told, sorry, we can't do it anymore. We've literally have to let you go. I lost my job. I have 2 kids. I was a single mom. You got the only income you have. made me feel like, oh my God, where do I go from here? My landlord wanted me out of the house because I couldn't pay rent. And I had the 2 boys, and I just couldn't express how this was all bottling in me. I'm like, where am I going to get the money? How am I going to do this? So I can't lean on my parents. They're old as it is, and no friends that I could ask money for. And I'm not the type of person, I'm a bit proud when it comes to asking for handouts. So as a single mum, you just, bite the bullet and keep going, which then brought me to all of my traumas. And I went backwards and went down a spiral and couldn't stop crying. I spoke to a psychologist, and it just made it worse for me, because as much as I talk about it, the weeks afterwards, the days afterwards, I'm still kept with the emotionals, and I just didn't know how to deal with it. And then I started looking up how can I make myself better, and started studying about neuroscience and hypnotherapy. And I thought, well, I've got nothing else to lose.
Can I ask a question? Sorry to interrupt you this one, because I can't stop thinking about one thing. I can see you with 2 sons of yours, and things spiraling from bad to worst. Many people will give up on life.
Yeah.
What makes you go further and explore that possibility to learn some new trades, new fields of the, like a new NLP?
Do you know, Mario, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was a very emotional time for me. Being lost with everything. I was a single mom. I lost my partner. I have 2 kids, and it's easy to give up. But I looked at my 2 children and I thought, this is not the life that I want them to know as I'm a giver-upper. I mean, I can't tell them life is this bad. How are they going to survive when I'm not there? And they were the pinnacle that helped me, because if I don't show them how to live, who else is going to show them? So that was the premise as well. It was that strength. And then I looked into myself. I'm like, do I really want to go out this way? Do I really want to end my life knowing that I could have gone further, but I didn't? So, yeah.
I tell you something with the full credibility and authority. I'll tell you something what I don't say very often. And that is, I'm admiring people as yourself. There is not many people like you, Avril. I met so many alpha male, all these strong guys and women. But when the trouble knocks on the door, the house of cards collapse. The big talks, no walks. And I'm admiring you for displaying the courage. And I saw in the war, usually the people who you don't expect to see on the street, they're going to be most bravest and courageous people like yourself. So for that one, I'm very thankful that you show cojones in this interview, which is your interview. It's all about you today, to teach other people that they can move forward. By the way, guys, Avril doesn't cry. I didn't make her emotional. She's the nose is running because of the aircon in the plane.
That's true.
Yeah. So that is something I wanted to share with you. May I ask you one personal question on this? On that part when you felt life, you don't doing well in your life. Were there people who helped you? People who tried to sabotage you, stop you to do this, what you're doing today? Or were there people there who support you? You don't need to name them. Just I want you people to learn from you, Avril.
Well, their family is good, but unfortunately they also give you that notion that they're worried for you. So they're worried for you means that you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. And it comes sometimes down to the point where you think, oh, they don't trust me or love me enough, or they're not giving me the great advice. But at that point in time when family told me, well, this is life, deal with it. And I didn't exactly, I lived in a world of my own. So I had 4 walls which echoed everything I said, which then led to my manifestation. So when I went down, And when I went up, I went really soaring up. So for people, I lean towards a lot of mentors that were like, you would read books, you would watch YouTubes, you'd look for inspiration. So I had Arnold Schwarzenegger, I had GSP, he's a fighter. I look towards fighters because they have.
Why fighters? Can you share with us some secret, guys? Like, what you don't know, the Avril it's a one-stop shop of most explosive. Avril, you told me something before we done the interview today which I didn't know this. You don't mention this on your profile.
Yes.
That you were the professional fighter.
That's correct.
Okay, so can you share with our audience what possessed the girl like yourself to be professional fighter?
It was really interesting. I got bullied and at a small age. So I think it was in primary school. I actually got called black. I encountered racism for the first time. And a lot of the children in the school picked up on me, and out of nowhere, they would shove me and push me. And it was something that you'd never expect. But it caught me off guard, and it was okay because it was just for me, because I can deal with it. But they pushed my sister.
She's younger or older?
She's younger. She's 4 years younger.
Yeah,
they pushed my sister and got her to eat bark because we were black. And I don't know what happened, but something snapped in me, and I'm like, I rescued my sister, but I made the other guy eat the bark. And I was not ready to let him go without giving the same treatment he gave my sister. And that's when I knew I was a protector. And that's when I knew that I had to fight for everything. And that was a young age, because no one tells you things that you don't know. And this was given to me as I guess it was a punishment as well as a gift, because you get name called and bullied. And so the fighter in me, I was seasoned from day dot to bounce back. When someone push, you push back.
Yeah.
When you're stuck against the wall with a gun in your face, you don't react, you respond. So I started to learn at an early age to respond rather than react. And at first it was reaction, but then it grew to respond. So that's where the fighting in me started. And then my dad noticed this. So I'm actually a third generation martial artist in the family, and it's in our bloodline. So when Dad heard that I started responding, reacting this way, he goes, okay, if you're going to throw punches, let me show you how it's done. And then I started doing it pretty well. I got into a competition. My sensei said, oh, there's a competition in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, can't be that bad. I mean, I just thought it was just fun and games. But boy, did he train me. So it was every day, 6 o'clock in the morning, running. It was determination, passion, and drive, and discipline. And those key aspects drove me to be the person I am. Because
so that was actually driving to become the expert in NLP, which is a neuro-linguistic programming, right?
Yeah, reprogramming.
Reprogramming. Now, and the hypnotherapy as well?
Yeah, hypnotherapy, because part of my life, if I didn't know hypnotherapy, I would be stuck in those emotions.
Can you explain how this reshaped your outlook on life?
Oh, it made me understand why people are the way they are, and why I was reacting and not responding again. Yeah. Every year I go through like, oh, it's her fault, it's that one's fault, it's this one's fault. But it wasn't. It was my perception, because that person didn't even know I was thinking that. Okay. So NLP flipped the book.
Okay.
Hypnotherapy took the emotions out, which gave me clarity and foresight into what I needed to get done. And that registered and brought me down to ground zero. It's like, hey, who are you? And I'm like, crap, I didn't ask that question.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who am I? And I'm like, okay, so I like spice, but back in the day, I'd eat a lot of sugar. I'm like, for what? I didn't know why. And
So the actual NLP and hypnotherapy helped you to discover that why eating sugar, right?
that's right. That's right. So COVID, although bad it was, hatched out the true me. So I felt enlightened in a way where I was able to break free from the protection of my parents and the outer layer of the world of what they saw I was, and forged me to be the person I thought I was. And COVID made me think inwards, and then I broke through those shells to be who I am.
Yeah.
And life became so much more easier.
One simple question which requires, I will say from you, deep answer. What is the humanity biggest enemy for every person on this planet? Fear, emotions?
You are your worst enemy.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because you are the only person that matters. Without you, life starts with you and ends with you.
Okay.
Everything happens for you, not to you.
For you, not to you. And my next question is actually your approach, which is positive life mindset. Helped so many people because, you know, what I say, like, I'm admiring you because you demonstrating how it can be done because you did this on yourself. Then you have your approach to learn that techniques, NLP. But how can you break down what this means and how this actually empower individuals, your positive life mindset, to rebuild their confidence? Because you say like something very interesting now. I was hoping you'll not say that we are our biggest enemies. And we are.
We are. Because as much as I want to sugarcoat things, I'm not that. If you're wanting me to sweet talk you into false sense of security that it's going to be all peaches and roses, the raw truth is we perceive ourselves in a certain way, ergo we become that way. If you think you are an average Joe, just living just an average life and humble, you will become that. Albert Einstein says a similar thing. I can't remember his quote word for word, but we are who we think we are. So if I was to say that I am going to be the sniper, the best sniper in the whole world, I don't know how to use a gun, I don't know how to do things, but if I put my mind to it, I can. There's nothing you can and cannot do. You are your own enemy because you prohibit yourself from doing that. It's like saying, Mario, I live in Melbourne. I can't fly here to do this with you because I can't believe I can get on a plane and get here. I don't believe I'll have the funds. I have to wait. No. You want it? Go for it. Don't overthink, because the moment you overthink, you give yourself the 110 excuses why you cannot.
I will say something that I will confirm everything what you say.
Aha.
Okay. If you and I have this conversation 14 years ago, I would say like, Avril, get out. Get out of my life because it's the biggest BS. But I found myself in a situation in my life personally, so like, everything was just going down to hill. And long story short, it is, for some reason, I went into a library. I wasn't a good reader and everything else, but I found a book. It's called You Can Do It. It's Aussie writer Paul Hanna. And he just talked this, which I was considering nonsense then.
Yeah.
But now I must say that what you say was true, because if you believe you can't, and I was blaming everybody and anybody, even you before I met you, you were responsible for all my mistakes. And then I started believing that I can achieve. And of course, that's not a process overnight. You're facing many obstacles. So my question it is like, I can confirm what you're saying. It's true because it would work for me. But how do you use your personal story to connect and inspire others?
fundamentally, we're all human beings. We all want to be loved. We all want to be the best person we can be and help others. We all want to strive to do something. The connection is there because I can relate to you because I've experienced a lot, whether it be racism, sexual abuse, trauma, being a parent, being the daughter, being the eldest, going through work and feeling like you're always doing 110, but the guy who's a douchebag and never turns up to work gets the promotion. You're like, what? How is... And then, and why is it that when you try to get to a manager role, you can't seem to reach that? You're always on that wheel of you want to move forward, you're doing everything, but you're stuck. And then you give up. And then you keep going and then you give up. You're in that perpetual thing is because I can relate because I know those struggles. I used to be homeless. Would you believe it? I lived in my car for 2 weeks because it was very hard and difficult. So if you're going to tell me, oh, she doesn't understand. I've been through there. I've been sitting in the park crying with my head in my hands. I've been eating food from help centers. I've lived from the parts that I thought I never would. But now I've been grateful that I'm actually living a most fulfilling life and I want to give back. And the only way I can give back is by sharing what I know.
You're going to win the hearts and minds of many. And I'll tell you why. Because, after all, when people start their life story, they start with this Crimea River. My life was bad. My mom didn't love me. I didn't have nothing to do. But every time I say to you, it's very hard to impress me. Because I met a lot of people in the war, the cowards and the brave people. And usually very brave people are people like yourself.
Thank you.
Who embraced the life, took it negative, tried to convert it positive. Speaks volume about you even sit on a plane to come today in Sydney to do an interview with me. And I will make it sure that everybody knows for your story. Because I will never believe that you were homeless. I never believe that somebody forced your sister to eat a bark. And yet you're smiling here, and you're giving people the knowledge. Now, by New York Weekly Magazine, need to read this one, you've been recognized as an entrepreneur to watch. Now, how does it feel to see your impact and influence growing in such a meaningful way? This is the big recognition. I need to check. That must be some Photoshop. That's like on Google.
I know. I felt the same. I felt like I had
New York Weekly Magazine. Yeah.
They outreached me, and I was like, "Why?" And they said, "Oh, would you mind?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's not. No, I don't want to." And I'm like thinking, opportunity is knocking, and you're not saying yes. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, excuse me, my nose."
No, it's okay now. So because when I was doing research of you send your paperwork and everything else, and I said to myself, New York Weekly Magazine, people dream of this one, and now you come to that point where you are actually somebody who can share that success story, from being down on the bottom, and you're still humble, but yet you are implementing lives of many by your knowledge, your experience, your expertise. Now. Can you share with us one successful story you can remember, one of your clients you are responsible for their success?
This 18-year-old boy. 18-year-old boy. He went to school and he goes into school. He sees racism and he's been told by his parents, put your head down, don't listen, ignore it. But they don't mean it in a bad way. They mean it as a joke, and it's affecting him. It irritates him so much. It strung a hard chord into me, and I'm like, no, I'm going to help this boy. Yeah. I just felt like it was me reliving this thing again. And I said, all right, this is how we're going to work it. And I got him to go through hypnotherapy and build his confidence up. And I said, this is nothing to do with what I'm doing. It's all about you. So tell me what you really want. I want to stand up, but I want to stand up in a way that I'm not being rude or disrespectful, but I want them to stop this because it's affecting me. And I gave him the ability to gain his own power back.
Yeah.
Called me up and he said, you won't believe what happened. I'm like, what happened? And he goes, I told them. I stood up and I told them, I appreciate your comedy, but I don't like it. It's rubbing me against the wrong way. And they stopped. I burst out in tears. I was like, I'm so proud of you. It meant so much to me to see a young person be able to back themselves up.
That is
now I'm really tearing.
No, look, it's
because
it's a normal. We after all, we are humans. And
we are humans, and we are what we are being made to. We didn't ask to be born this way.
That is very, very true. Because that question is actually related to my next question, which because in essence, I never met you before in my life.
No,
you have a very interesting and colorful background, and as I said, like you're very humble down on earth, but yet your expertise, it's really, really something I wanted people reach and talk to you and learn from you and to see how you can help them, because you can demonstrate. I say again, there's so many coaches, many NLP coaches, and everybody talks the theory, but you live that life.
Yeah,
and Life the Battlefield podcast, it is about facing the life obstacles and battles.
Absolutely.
And one of my questions, that's the reason I ask you, what's a success story? Because for you to be successful, I realize that you are giving a lot of back to community.
That's
and my
right.
question is, why give back to community? Community give you nothing. Why giving community when they betrayed you, left you alone for you and your boys? I'm very curious to know this.
Community will let you down in certain ways, but there are very, very rare sparkles that come out and share and never give up on you. I'll give you one story. I went through being homeless and living on the dole it took me one day to go to a job seeker thing, and this lady said, okay, you know what, we'll put you into study. And I said, oh man, I'm brain dead. I'm not going to be able to do this. And, I was all negative. And I told her, she goes, choose a subject. I said, applied science. That's something I will definitely fail in. And she goes, well, we don't do that. But you know what? Just for you, I'm going to make an attempt. I'm going to go speak to my manager. And I'm like, oh, this woman, just give up on me already. And she gets it. And she goes, oh, okay. And I said, I got the course. I said, yeah, but I don't have money for the books. I don't have money for the... Yeah. She goes, okay, give me a second. She goes back and she asks the manager, I'm like, bloody hell, just give up already. And she's like, here's your books. Yeah. We're paying for your books. We're paying for your transfer. I'm like... I was like, all right, I'll do it. Thank you. Appreciate it. You wouldn't believe it. I got high distinctions for applied science. And I was like, I have a brain? And I'm like, I just like, wait, I got HDs? High distinctions? I'm like...
That is the picture of your like this is right.
But it's people like her in that field that can understand and register someone who's broken and see the true light within them.
Yes.
This is where there's less of them around because they can only deal with it for a certain amount of time before they burn out.
Yes, yes.
So I want to be just like her. See the true light in other people and bring out their inner potential. This is where positive life mindset came about because I'm here to open up and pull everything apart, grab your light and make you shine because that's the aim of my game.
Can I just ask you, I've tried to figure out the proper way how to formulate this question because like everybody loves to talk about successes in life. Everybody loves to talk about how they're successful, rich, powerful. irreplaceable they are. Nobody loves to talk about their starting journey. And you just share with the audience, how did you start, the moments. As it's like, it's very important for people to understand where is the moment when, as I mentioned, as I ask you, that you realize you need to change your life, you need to, the moment of clarity, that need to change something. But the life is full of obstacles, full of the battles. And my question it is about to you, it's about next battle, and that is your business. Like, starting business is not easy. I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. Starting business, it's easy, but running business
is very hard.
Is hard. Can you share with audience so they can learn from you one of your toughest moments maybe you tried to give up, or some obstacles you couldn't overcome?
Business throws more than what life throws, because you run and you walk with your own hands and your own legs. No one's out there to give you a little hand, and you forget that there is several layers of business. So you've got to hit dirt and have your head in your hand crying, why did I do this? I need to go get a job. This is not working. But all comes down to purpose.
Purpose.
What is your purpose? What is your why? Because if you find out why you're doing what you do, you will find that nothing will stand in your way. So you will be that bull at a gate, always pivoting, always moving, always finding a way to help someone.
Yeah.
I can't go walking down the street before someone could recognize me. And like, oh, you're the lady from the pharmacy, or oh, you're the lady that helped me with this, and you're the lady that helped me with that. I'm like, if you give, what you get is more than what you would ever think of. If you want to put numbers and money to it.
Well, why do people love to see? This is what I was expecting when I explained that, simplified, humble way.
Yeah.
But why do people love to put the numbers in front of their success? I'm very curious now for your opinion.
Because there's numbers above them, so nothing comes for free.
Okay, now we're talking
Nothing
about
comes for free.
Not even lunch.
It always comes with a catch.
Okay, okay.
So the thing is, I guess we can give as much as we can if we have. The moment we deplete, we cannot give anymore.
Yes.
So when people are working, they cannot be their true self. And when it agitates you and people pick and prod you, it's God, universe telling you, hey, time to do something about it. But if you are passively living your life on autopilot and you hear all the cues, but you're not hearing it, you're not living the life you're meant to live. You, like yourself, you've had businesses, you still have businesses, but you found your passion in podcasting.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes, that's correct.
And how easy is life now for you? Bills wise, it's different, but
there was a lot of hurdles.
But you're satisfied. You're more happy to hear stories and deep delve into how things are going for people.
Thank you.
And it makes you happy. That's a very passionate thing. And I can see how successful you are by doing this.
Thank you.
And that's very rare to find. And to keep going is a level of its own, Sometimes it pays, sometimes it doesn't, but everything else that's all about it is very, very rewarding.
On that note, the question I said, if somebody you meet today, or somebody comes to you today, and they feels like they hit rock bottom, and they don't know where to begin rebuild their life, what your advice would be as a professional now? Somebody who is in this studio, somebody come to you and say, Avril, I hit a rock bottom, life is over, I don't know where to start to rebuild my life. What will your instant reply to be to that person?
I would always say, think about everything that has happened, right? Make peace with it.
Make
Address
peace,
it.
okay. Yeah.
Address, recognize it. Yes, it's tough. Yes, it's hard. Take action on it. Okay, what did you do that did work, and what did you do that didn't work? Didn't work, And then forgive All right, I screwed up. They screwed up. Take the onus that it's to do with you, but forgive yourself because it's not your fault.
How? It's easy to say forgive yourself.
Yes.
But isn't that strange when you say forgive yourself? Isn't that always we say we need to forgive somebody?
Yeah.
But forgiving ourselves?
It's very difficult and very painful to do because you don't respect yourself as a human being.
What?
We see each other, we see us as the third person.
Yeah.
When you're the third person, everybody else is important, not you. So you need to focus on being you are the important person. By giving the power back to you to regenerate and to heal, you will be stronger and better to actually move forward in life.
Are you teaching these people as well how to forgive themselves?
Yes.
So self-forgiveness is...
It's self-forgiveness and starts with gratitude.
Ah, okay, gratitude. Do you think that we humans, we're thankful? Because, I'll tell you something, what I'm seeing on the social media. Everybody loves to say thank you when everything is rosy and pink. But nobody says thank you, God or universe or midgets, unicorn, for being alive. Because I truly believe that one thing, the most valuable currency in life we have is the health. And on a personal journey with my son for almost 12 years, he was epileptic. I always say to myself, how health is more important than all money and all the successes I have behind me because I see my son struggling. And then the question I have for you, what is the gratitude? When we should express the gratitude? And maybe you can answer why the people are not grateful for what they have, even with the health.
Well, I bring it back to everything happens for you, not to you.
Okay.
So when things happen and you didn't get that loaf of bread that you wanted to get to make that perfect dinner, didn't get that thing to start where you need, and you're just like, oh, it's not right. It's like when you're not communicating with that person and you're talking this way and they're talking that way and you're miscommunicating. Things happen for you because you need to learn. When you learn where you went wrong and stop blaming others, then you learn to sit down and think, how can I make this better? You reframe your brain and your mind to wonder, well, that didn't work. So let me sit down and try to think about it. Actually, let's go and ask that person. So when I say this, what exactly are you hearing? So if I tell you, hey, Mario, I'm seeing pain. What color does that look for you? Because for me, pain is blue.
I just want to say green.
I
wasn't sure what to say. I wasn't sure.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You see the color green and I see the color blue. That means pain for you is green and pain for me is blue. So how is it, if someone else was here, they'll say red because it symbolizes blood. So do you know what I mean? Our perceptions are different.
Yes.
So to break it all down is to understand someone else's perspective. So if I want to communicate with my son, I would be thinking about, okay, here I am, mum, telling him what to do, and he doesn't want to listen to me because I'm old and I don't get with the lingo and life is different. Yes. And, all right, mum, shut up, let's go. I've got other things to do. I'm gaming here. Leave me alone, But then there's a way, like, hey, let's game together. Let's talk together. And, it's just like me trying to play Black Ops and I'm using the wrong gun. Help me respawn, it's just trying to speak their language and understand what they see. And then you'll be like, oh, okay, so if I was playing Black Ops and I told you to put the clothes to dry, it's like when...
That is interesting. Black Ops, like I didn't know this because I see my son, he's, he's 22 years old. You say something very interesting. The lingo, it's different.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling sometimes. I just like, Okay, sorry. Continue, please.
Oh yeah, so so basically the language you speak, the body language, the whole rapport has to be restructured so that you are making them feel comfortable that okay, you get something. So we had this whole argument, and then at the end of it, I said, "Look, I'm not here to piss you off. I'm not here to annoy you. I'm just trying to understand you so I can be part of your world because I see you as my hero. I see you as, something I brought into the world that I love so much and I want to be part of." Do you know what I mean? And then he's like, "Okay, I'm sorry, Mom. What can we do together that won't tick both of us off?" And I'm like, "Well, I like going to the beach." He goes, "Well, I like walking, so let's do walking on the beach." And that now every week we go and we do have a little chat. We go for a walk. We have a coffee or a milkshake, and we're building our relationship up.
Can I now extend that question into because what I said at the beginning, introduction, you're doing the hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't need to say yes or no, but do you use your hypnotherapy and your kids to say yes?
I would really love to say yes, but hypnotherapy only works if you want the change.
Okay, so
I cannot force you to do something I want.
Yeah. So I want to ask you a question because there's a lot of articles about hypnotherapy I was reading, and they're similar but they're different. And I always see in the hypnotherapy like the guy with the watch and tick. So like, can you just expand on this one? What is the hypnotherapy and why is it important for person to volunteer to be under your spell?
My spell.
Okay, so hypnotherapy.
So hypnotherapy is basically using what you have inside to help you. We are just facilitators. So what I do is I ask you, Mario, okay, what are you struggling in? And you'd say, "Oh, I can't sleep. I'm too much on social media. I eat too much of chocolate. All of this."
Okay.
And I'm like, "Okay, Mario, so what would you like to see where would you like to see yourself?" "I would like to be a bit more healthier, be a bit more proactive." And then work on those positive notes. As long as you tell me what you want, I work with you to reframe your mind and reset your mindset to gear you to avoid those, but to put new habits in. So getting what you want with your best result, because I can tell you, Mario, go to sleep. I'm going to count to 3 and I want you to go into the corner, stand on your head and cluck like a chicken. You are not going to do that.
I just want to say, I don't think so.
That is not going to happen.
With the stand on my head. That's
As physically fit you are, it's not going to. You're not going to be doing that because it's not part of your innate sense. You are not going to be doing ridiculous things just because I asked you to. And this is where the disclaimer for hypnotherapy is that I cannot make you do anything you do not want to do. That
is true, yes.
That's where I'm very selective with my smokers because they say, "Oh, I want to quit." I said, "You want to quit, huh? Is it not your wife that wants you to quit? Your mom that wants to quit?" Because, at the end of the day, I can help you quit. But if it's not you that want to make yourself quit, you ain't going to quit.
Can I share a story with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was, I went for this hypnotherapy. And I went for something totally different. And the lady, she says to me, "Are you smoking, Mario?" I say, "Yes, I do." She says, "I can feel it, and smell it." It's like, I'll stink, of course. I try not to stink while I come in the place where she works. She says to me, "Would you like to try to give up?" I said, she says to me, "No, you're not ready." I say, "Okay, not ready." Truth it is, I wasn't ready. But as we done the other things and progressed, it's there comes the moment in my life I said, I need to stop smoking. Anyway, after some sessions, nothing changed. But what did change actually is 2022, I went with my son back in Croatia. I said, "Go on a show where I live, where I was born." And he was like, people, there's no electricity there. People are living in caves, you know what I mean? So man, I was a little bit pissed off, you know what I mean? But he tried to provoke me. What did happen actually? We were in a lift in a Swiss hotel in Singapore. And the last few days before we travel, I was feeling something's wrong with me. Every time I smoke, I feel very, very sick. And my son says to me before we reach the top floor, or whatever floor, he would say top floor, he say, I don't think you're gonna stop smoking. And I'm like this, that will not happen. I stopped smoking that day.
Oh, wow.
So I went to the psychologist and I said to this lady, she done this to me. She says to me, I was wondering what's going to trigger that moment. Because I say I felt sick for some time. For days before, like every time I try to smoke, I feel sick. And then that lift situation, I didn't smoke now for 3 years, right? So I try to say it does work.
Yeah.
Maybe in the shape, size, of form, people's like, oh, I'm going to wake up, it's going to be green.
Yeah.
So let's talk about smokers. When the smokers should come to you, when you say choose or to do hypnotherapy to stop smoking?
When they're really ready to, and not because someone has told them to, because if it goes across for anything, you don't go to hypnotherapy just because someone told you that it's going to, there is no one quick fix. It's a journey. And these journeys come across from all spectrums. So whether it be from eating too much or not being able to lose weight, you'd be surprised. Some people that come to me for trying to lose weight, it's actually not for the weight. It's actually anxiety building that they have put on weight for. So as soon as they found out what was going wrong and emotionally, they lose it.
Ah, okay.
Because it's a trigger problem that forces them to eat emotionally.
So you're on a journey and you're a professional after all, who is on a mission to help to people to connect with their true potential, to heal and thrive. So now this is a general question for everybody who is watching this very moment. How the people can or connect or someone can start a journey with you? And what do you do to help the people overall?
Well, I have people coming from all levels and all stages. So it doesn't matter where you are in life. As long as you're ready to make a difference and you're going to be able to make those changes yourself and you're ready to just, like you're over it, you've hit rock bottom and you're just desperate to get some sort of result, I can help you then. But if you're coming to me and you're saying, I just feel like I want to change, just because the hell of it, it's not going to work. And it's because you're not ready for it.
I love your honesty. If you're not ready to change yourself, nobody can change you.
No, I can't change you. And vice versa. You can't, if you come to me and say, well, I've been to a doctor, I've been to this, I've been to that, no one can help me. You've already believed that no one will help you. So therefore, no matter what anyone does, will not help you if you're not ready to receive. Bruce Lee said it best. If your cup is full, I cannot fill it for you because it's too already full. So empty your cup so I can fill it.
You're quoting the guy, I grow up, I was want to be Bruce Lee. And I agree with you on that one. So those who want to start working with you, they need to be ready to do changes.
It happens when you have, and this is where I say from my experience, when you've hit rock bottom, the only way is up.
I think that people need to hear this, because I truly believe there's thousands of people at this very moment who are on a rock bottom. And I'm going to put in comment section below how you can reach Avril and how you can engage her for your own benefit. And also, like, one thing about Avril, it is she's been there, she felt that, and she rise to help all of us, including me today in this conversation, because I have a preview in this interview and I can ask questions. Maybe suits me as well. So, like, Avril, I want to ask you a question about your book, right? And your book, Awareness Holds the Key. Right, I see the binary numbers here.
Yes.
I see the sky. I'm not sure the sky is the limit. Why would you write the book with this title? The awareness is the key.
Because it is. Yeah. Because you only know what you know, and that limits you. The moment you know more on how to live a better life and you implement that, that's your key to opening doors to actually having a better fulfilling life. to having a much more understanding of life so
Yeah,
that it's
yeah.
in your control
Yes.
and you can live it the way you want. You can get up in the morning and say, okay, I'm not going to have that coffee, but I'm going to go into work, but I'm going to be hyperactive and I'm going to get my job done. And then you go to work and you feel yourself hyperactive and you can choose. No one's telling you you don't have to drive to work. You can walk to work. No, there is no habitual thing being put there for you. It's just the prerequisite that's been given to you by influences, by culture, by religion, by experiences, and just by looking and watching the wrong TV shows or listening to the wrong music. If you're listening to, I used to listen to a lot of rap. And I saw you rolling your eyes.
Like when you told me these things, even in a car, hip hop and dancing, I saw like, yeah, that kind of be like, this lady, she's like, but okay, please share with us.
So what I'm saying is that influences you. If you listen to love songs, your expectations of having a good relationship is off the roof. Do you know what I mean?
Expectations.
Your expectations change, and then you got unrealistic goals, which then depresses you because you cannot reach them. But if you let go of those expectations and understand who you really are first, then your expectations are more realistic and you'll find that life becomes more accessible. So you may be able to find that correct partner. It may take a little while to go through a few, but you will get there, And the awareness gives you those questions to provoke your thinking. Are you ordering Uber Eats because you want to eat Uber Eats, or is it because someone else ordered Uber Eats and it smells nice in the office?
Well, I don't eat Uber. But smells nice in the office.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
It's like, what are you eating? Oh, I can. That's a trick, actually.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard to say no, but I say again, I'm grateful that we have this conversation, and I'm grateful that you found the time to fly from Melbourne today in Sydney to be with me in the studio. So tell us more about this book, where the people can find this book.
So it's actually on Amazon at the moment.
Okay.
So you can get your digital copy or you can get a paperback. So that there is your copy from me to you.
That's it. But I'm expecting some signature here.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Let's hold the key. We do this after the interview. Okay, it's time to wind up. So I want to ask you a couple more personal questions. Okay, for everybody listening and watching this right now, and I say like, I prefer more to hear this from you than from the many big gurus there, because most of these people I'm listening online, they're talking the theory, but you live in the practice.
That's right.
What we do good in the morning, people, or what we do in the bed in the morning when we wake up?
There is actually no good and bad. Everyone is unique.
Why?
Because you need to listen to yourself.
Okay.
When I get up in the morning, I like to wake up and I do my meditation, and I like to walk on the grass and get grounded, get connected to nature.
Okay, yeah.
Not everyone has that time.
Yes.
When we have children, we've got to rush. We've got to get all these things done. But all I can say is always take at least 5 minutes of your day to thank yourself for waking up and wanting to do what you do. Thank yourself that you've got your arms and your legs and your limbs intact, and whatever you have, thank yourself, because it's all because of you things are happening. If you don't do anything, nothing will happen, and it's because of you that your world exists. So take the moment to be grateful for who you really are, and that's all I can say, because if you get up in the morning and have a routine and that works for you, do it. If it doesn't work for you...
I like it what you reply, because as I say again, there's a forest out there, not a forest, a jungle of the tips and advice and suggestion what everyone needs to do. And I said to myself, you should do things makes you happy.
Yeah.
In the morning, I say every morning in my bedroom, I say, today it's going to be a good day. And, from mother's side of the house, my son says, what are you saying? Are you psychic? I say, for me, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
And I now understand, because his lingo and his awareness on the life is different than my one. And of course, why would he worry? He's at 22 years old, and for him everything's possible, right?
Let me tell you one thing though. When you do a high vibration, and even though he's questioning you, he wants a piece of that. So it starts with you with it becomes high vibrations, and it gravitates to the whole room. If you ever notice, if you go into a room and you're humming and you're singing a tune, someone else will join in. And it just becomes very
contagious.
And it just all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, let's do karaoke.
Are you doing karaoke?
Yeah, I do sometimes, or they get into a mood where they're like, oh, yeah, and then they go back to work. But it's because it's infectious. Your attitude is very infectious. So if you get up in the morning, you feel like total crap, just get up and say, you know what? I'm feeling like crap, maybe because I need to have breakfast. I didn't sleep early last night, but I'm up now, and just say, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa.
Walking on sunshine.
Get that vibe going, and then, rock it.
This
rock
is a
with
visual
what you
interview.
have.
I never had nobody sitting over there and doing this, you know what I mean? And if the gurus are watching us online, they're going to say like, don't do this, but guys, be happy. My guest in studio today, Avril, your surname, Juriansz, Avril Juriansz. For those who don't know, it's a Dutch surname. I like to say thank you, Avril. Thank you for the book, Awareness Hold the Key. I'm going to put in the description section a link how you can purchase this book, how you can reach this amazing lady, and have no doubt that Avril is going to assist you, all of you guys who are looking to change. As Avril says, purpose is the key for happiness. Be grateful, be thankful. Avril, thank you from bottom of my heart for being my guest today, coming from the Melbourne in Sydney. It's 40 degrees outside. So it's like, thank you for sharing your life story, your true practical example, how you overcome hurdles and obstacles. Thank you for being my guest.
No worries. Thank you, Mario.
You're welcome.